Welcome back. I am Willow, and this is Willow Trades. And those of you who are joining me because you're interested in day trading and you want to see what it's really like to actually day trade. So I've started this channel so that I can help people out by watching me through the process as I go through this process of developing and to become a more profitable trader. I've been trading for about 2 years, which is about the length of time the average trader trades before they even begin to start to sniff profits. So be careful of those wild videos out there proclaiming all kinds of wild profits, because the average trader goes through the process and it typically takes 2 to 3 years for you to become consistently profitable if you're a quote unquote day trader. Now, I'm not saying people don't do it sooner. I'm just saying to you that's what it takes. So over my time, one of the things that I've learned to be very important is to do a watch list every morning and kind of try to have an idea of where you feel like the market is going to go. So as a result of that, we're going to take a look at some of these charts. I want to show you, this is another one of my screens. If you watch some of the previous videos, you've seen some different screens that I use. I wanted to show this one. So I actually trade with 3 different screens, and let's get started. So first thing I want you to see on the screen is I am using multiple windows within the screen. I trade with TOS, Thinkorswim, and this is the SPY 1 minute. I keep the SPY 5 minute in a different place. Also the QQQ 5 minute and the SPX 5 minute in a different place. And then I also have my active trader. This is my trade, what I call my trade screen. I primarily like to trade off the 5 minute because I feel like it gives you better confirmation, whereas the 1 minute lets me see how the 5 minute candles are forming. That's important for a couple of the strategies that I use because I'm looking at price action. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and make this window larger, and we'll start to see what I've already mapped out. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it to a higher time frame. We're going to take it to our 5 minute time frame. Okay, so in our 5 minute time frame, you can see I already drawn some lines, trend lines for the pre-market low, pre-market high. Some people use price levels. I like to use trend lines for these. This is going to be the last high, yesterday's high, and this is the last close. And then if we were to go further down, I have yesterday's low. And the reason that's important is you see that the market likes to revisit those price levels multiple times before it loses them. So if you see above, I actually have a 61% fib at 543.45, and you see we kind of rejected at a pre-market. So the big test is going to be to see whether this is still valid, because we've already kind of rejected. I was actually waiting on this fib. This was going to be one of my kind of certainty trades, but this level up here at 544 is also a really good level. And so you can see we've had numerous stops in this little area. If we start to move up, the first thing I'm going to do is look to see if we do another reject. If we do another reject, that'd make me happy. That means I'm looking for us to go back down, and you're going to use your I'm going to use my first take profits here, and then also here. And if we look real careful on the 5 minute, see we got a 200 SMA line kind of coming across, which sometimes can serve as a resistance point. It depends. I look at the SMAs and the EMAs in the kind of way where I look at them to follow a trade, but I don't look at them to actually make the trade. So a lot of times you'll see either early in the day, you'll see it respecting, like yesterday in pre-market, you'll see it respecting one or the other, whether it's the 100 SMA or 200 SMA, or you'll begin to see that it's moving through it, and sometime later in the day, I would say past 1 o'clock, you'll start to see it respect it more. So either it respects it early in the day or it respects it late in the day, but at some point it's going to respect it. And so you don't know when it is, so you got to play it very, very cautiously. So what I'm looking for is to see if we bounce here. This is a 21 EMA, and see if we start to move back up. If they bring us in and all we do is consolidate and move back and forth, that's when I'm really going to rest on my heels and try to see what direction the market is going to lead and what kind of shape we look to take. But for right now, my big play, what I believe my big play is going to be a reject of the pre-market high, because there's also the 61.8% fib. So that's what I feel like is going to be my A setup. I'm going to be looking for a confirmation, which is certain kinds of candles. So say for instance, this candle here would not be a good idea of the candle I'm looking for. I'm going to look for more of this kind of candle. And I'm looking for it to form up here. Or you get two side by sides, one green and then one red, kind of like this. And kind of use that as my access point. Let's go to QQQ. So the market for the last year really has been driven very strongly by QQQ. So we were just looking at SPY, and so what I see here on QQQ is kind of the same formation, except it got a little higher. We're actually deeper into the same kind of fib and starting into a new fib that I have on the chart. I might bring up the one day so you guys, the daily, so you can see that. So right here, what I'm looking at is we're likely going to try to retest it again. And so I'm going to use this also to determine whether or not I take that SPY as a reject. Because if QQQ starts breaking through pre-market with strength, I'm going to stay away from it and look for a higher reject, probably at that 544. But if I see it respecting this pre-market and I see the same kind of candles, maybe something like this, then I'm going to look to take it on, look to take that reject, watching SPY very carefully. This will be my ultimate price target, but I'm going to take trims along the way at these positions. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for on there. And I've told you guys that I trade SPX, and you can see it's right here on an additional screen. And so because it doesn't show pre-market, I don't usually have it up and running, but essentially I'm going to be looking at this 547 54.47 to 54.50, and then above that I believe is 54.86. So I'm going to be looking for that as a judge. We do have a gap up here, which could be a pulling factor for us to move up. But right now I'm going to look for that reject, try to take a quick trade, see what happens, see if it goes gangbusters. Today was CPI, so you can see the big variance in this 8:30 candle. So it could be a wild day. So we're going to play it very astutely and make sure that we are using proper risk management, getting in and getting out of the trade until we see, what truly forms with the market, and then we'll kind of go for the jugular.